Welcome back to another hour of Scotch Hour. I'm Noah.
And I'm Jesse.
All right, tonight we have a good evening. This is episode 236, and we will be reviewing the Macallan Harmony Collection
Woo-hoo!
Vibrant Oak.
Fuck yeah, motherfucker. That's some stiff wood.
That is some stiff wood. I've never been so excited to try stiff wood here. That's how it came out so totally wrong. All right, going forward.
We should have saved this for the ladies.
After we get done reviewing this.
Fuck, there's no recovery, no.
No, there isn't. That's why I just got to move forward. I fucked that up really bad.
Steel, sharpened steel. Yeah, done fucked up, Aaron.
So, after that, we'll do our shout out to Get It Togethers, which I probably need to do and Get It Together for that whole new intro. From there, we have our restaurant review being King's Buffet. And then our movie review being the 2025 Running Man. Real quickly, before we get started, quick shout out to all of you who watch us on YouTube and Rumble and listen to us on the many different podcast platforms. We greatly appreciate all of you. And if you do like our content, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave some comments down below. We would love to hear your opinions about the 2025 Running Man or the Macallan Harmony Collection Vibrant Oak.
Scotch review.
All right, well, Jesus Christ, much like Noah,
Train wreck.
I have never been excited for such stiff oak. A couple things here. The Macallan Distillery is riddled with both greatness and a few questionable moments in its life. But the basis here is that the Macallan Distillery is a Speyside distillery. It is located in the Eastern Illiches in Craigellachie, Moray, Scotland. So ultimately, it's a Speyside Scotch. Edrington is the current owner of the Macallan Distillery, originally founded 1824. That's 201 years ago. Woo woo! Only 153 years younger than me. Founder was Alexander Reed. I say was because as far as we know, he has passed. It is an operational distillery with a water source from the River Spey. This is a major distillery, so they have some serious output. 12 wash stills, 24 spirit stills, a total potential output of 15 million liters per year. Lots of fun here. They have had some phenomenal Scotch is some of the best on our show, if not by score, by moments in reflection and memory. Again, founded in 1824 by Alexander Reed in Craigellachie. It was originally and initially a farm distillery. Macallan comes from the Gaelic word mag, meaning fertile ground, and Allen referring to the local stream. So again, that water source, the River Spey. The distillery was able to buy its first large copper pot still in 1892, which allowed it to increase production. And, with all the world wars, shit happens. But after World War II, the world of the whiskey industry was affected by, fucking prohibition in the United States. Who knew? It's kind of weird, but whatever. Seemed like a good idea at the time, right? And the general global economic downturn. But you know what? The Macallan continued to produce Scotch whiskey. In the 30s, they began to age their whiskeys in an extended period, which began its 12-year-old distinguishing from many other companies that were considered in comparison at time. So you got to think. World War II, Prohibition, the Macallan comes out, sets its name apart by starting to age its Scotch is 12 years. So they jumped the gun on this one, but it paid off. And then moving forward with much of their delicious scotches in many movies, including James Bond. In 96, Highland Distillers acquired the Macallan Distillery. 99, Macallan became part of Edrington Group and has been there since. For the longest time, they have owned the rights to a bottle of a 1926 Macallan sold at Christie's auction for $54,000. Damn, it's a good dram. We're assuming one of the most expensive bottles, not the most expensive bottle, but in 2010, a bottle of the Macallan 64-year-old sold in a one-of-a-kind Lalique Cirque Purdue Crystal Decanter. That one sold for $460,000 in auction at Sotheby's. Of course, the proceeds went to a charity, Water, an organization that helps provide access to clean water. Man, because of that, they received a Guinness World Record in 2012 for the most expensive whiskey sold at auction. Since then, I believe, I don't know, maybe Ardbeg kicked their ass, but just saying, whiskey is as whiskey does. We've gone over the basics. We had lots of shows. There is a shit ton of history with the Macallan. Please revisit our other shows. We are going to try to move forward here quickly, get you to the actual Macallan Vibrant Oak review. Any tour information?
Well, first of all, they don't call them tours here. They call them experiences. So the first one we got is
this Vibrant Oak.
Exactly. The first one is called Time for Excellence. It's 80 Great British Pounds. It's 3 hours long. Here you get to savor a dram while your host enlightens you on key moments from the Macallan history to the production. And then you get to take a tour of the production area.
Yeah, you get lifted by some Vibrant Oak.
Then they have the Mastery Experience. It's 5 hours long, 250 Great British Pounds. And here you dive deeper into the whiskey making experience. And then you get a 6-course tasting along with a distillery tour. And then there's the Private Experience. It's 1,800 Great British Pounds. It's 3 hours long. It's a private experience at the distillery with a tutored nosing and tasting. And then, did I say that was 1,800 Great British Pounds on that one?
I believe you did.
Yeah.
At this point, at least once.
Well, there you have it. Those are their tours, if you will. They do have tasting experiences as well, but for the ones that include some kind of tour or visiting the production line or whatever, those are the three.
All right. Well, we're going to hammer forward. 44.2 ABV. One of the first keys to note about this has also been seasoned in both second fill sherry casks and first fill casks. But what they really say here is the spirit created by the Macallan Whiskey Master Team is maturity in combination of first fill sherry, seasoned American oak casks, and refill casks. With that, you get this cask, so seasoned, burnt, if you will, and then first fill cask, 44.2 ABV. Man, we're going to experience this oak like no other, and I do fully believe that. The packaging is great as we move forward. The Macallan bottle, standard as usual, sexy. In other words, yes, black tie ready, just by the look. They do a great job with their seal and the hologram, and you got to work at it. Sometimes I've had to cut it. God damn it. There we go. She broke.
Breaking that seal.
Yeah. Sexy bottle. Let's just go after the facts, as we're running towards this Scotch. Sexy bottle. Plastic top with a hologram seal, but also solid oak.
Solid cork?
Solid Coke. Yes, solid cork. Don't go Pepsi, motherfuckers. The King Buffet tried that, ruined my night. All right. Ooh. Can we have a woosah?
Woosah. All right, so off to our tasting notes and warp speed. So cheers.
Cheers, Running Man.
All right, this expression from the Macallan, the Harmony Collection, Vibrant Oak, and vibrant it is. Once again, Macallan does not disappoint. I think every Macallan that we've tried, I have loved, and they are definitely one of my favorite distilleries for a reason. And once again, this one, like I said, does not disappoint in this area at all. First off, the packaging. I love the packaging. I think it's kind of nice. I think it's kind of cool that they did was it a co-op, or they kind of how they work with the Cirque du Soleil with it and stuff like that?
Yes, this is a partnership with Cirque du Soleil because of the 200 years, 201 now, of their 200th anniversary, much like the Cirque du Soleil. So yes, they did this Cirque du Soleil anniversary with look at the website, Tree People. I'm not so crazy about the website, but I love the principle.
So I do like the boxing of it. The packaging is great. The color is wonderful too. I love how it has a nice dark amber hue to the color of the Scotch itself. Both of those get 5 out of 5. The nose, I have vanilla bean with oak, lime sherbet with some notes of raisin, pear, and winter spices. I really thought it was a delight on the nose, and it continues to open up even a bit more as we go through our show here. But I did give the nose 27 points. The palate I found to be a light-bodied with a lemon creaminess that kind of fades into like a creme brulee with notes of sweet oak and dark chocolate. And there's also like a buttery almond flavor that's in there as well. It was a delight how it just kind of morphed from this like lime creaminess to morph into like more of the vanilla custard, like creme brulee. And then having like the notes of the dark chocolate and some, a little bit of like the buttery shortbread or maybe a buttery almond just kind of like peek its head up there as well in the body. It was I thought it was a pleasure to drink that, and I really enjoyed it, and it's well balanced. So I gave that 28 points. The finish here I had it as a medium length. With I gave notes of sweet salted caramel with vanilla and dark chocolate, and after it like had lingered in my mouth for probably I would say like a little over a minute, the finish almost kind of reminded me of a chocolate covered raisin, like a raisinette type of taste, and I really enjoyed that as well. But I gave it 27 points, so we have 5, 27, 28, 27 for a grand total of 92. I really enjoyed this bottle. Black Tie Affair, yes. Shelf, yes. Hoard status, so not sharing at game night.
Horror status. Wow.
So, there we have it.
It's worth every drop.
I didn't say horror. I said hoard.
I know what you said, man. It's more fun to say horror.
Well, hoards do like probably nice stiff wood.
Dude.
Like a virgin oak. Popping that cherry.
Vibrant oak, not virgin.
Oh,
very. All right, back on track. Holy shit. My score changed 3 points from first sip until current conundrum. And I have enjoyed every sip of this Scotch. I think it's perfect for the Running Man. We're getting ratings as we go along, going up, going down. Vibrant oak. And I still am not 100% sure of which glass I prefer it in. Ultimately, presentation. Macallan doesn't lose. Winners again. Love the box. Love the collaboration. The Cirque du Soleil. The bottle. The hologram. Every piece of it. The real solid cork. 5 out of 5 for presentation. 5 out of 5 for color. And for me, man, this is Autumn's gold plated leaf. If you look at the dram, it literally shines a little bit like a gold leaf in there. So Autumn's gold plated leaf, 5 out of 5. Nose. None of these are bad for me, by the way. The nose, man, if there was going to be a low point, it would be the nose. The nose still scored a 28 with me. Vanilla, this ever so slight hint of lime. I'm a sucker for lime. And a little bit of, I want to say unripened peach. And there is this floral note, which is divine. Reminds me of so many things, and I love the floral. 28 out of 28 on the nose. The palate. The nose was the low 28. The palate was the high 28. Right off the bat, hints of vanilla, creme brulee, brown sugar, light brown sugar at that. Hazelnut. There's oak and great oak. Like, this is the young oak, the young, fresh, stiff oak. Some coconut. And then I'm going to say butterscotch, shortbread cookies. High 28 on the palate. Here's where it gets more interesting. For me, a medium 28 on the finish. The vanilla is still there. Oak. Oh my goodness, it's delicious. This is where I also like, and Noah mentioned, get this raisin on the top of a spoon of creme brulee with burnt light brown sugar. Wonderful. 20 out of 20. Finish 94. Total black tie. Yes. For me, game night. Right. Game night. Yes. Spot on shelf. Hell yeah. Need to procure myself another bottle now that this one has been opened. This is a delight. Here's where my struggle comes in. This is not one of those scotches where I'm going to come home and drink it when I had a loss. However, if I'm going to be in a family gathering, the celebration, a family gathering where I've made some creme brulee or someone else has brought wonderful desserts, like Noah recently for Mama Louise brought us some of their limoncello cake, fresh limoncello cake. Nobody beats theirs, by the way. This is the kind of scotch I would want to drink with that. There is a purpose for celebration with this. Delicious. But my score probably a bit high, honestly, but worth it tonight.
It's time for our shout-outs.
I'm going to leave my shout out to all of those individuals. Aiden, you're including this. Mila, you're including this. Let maximize life at whatever age you may be at. But Mila in London, Aiden helping me finish the basement, having fun at the gun range, eating new foods, watching great shows. Really contemplating and celebrating life while still remembering the importance of dreaming. That's my shout out, my get together. I'm going to leave it alone.
I'm going to do one get it together. This is going on. The get it together is for Olivia Henderson, known as the DoorDash girl, who sat there and tried to claim some guy who is in his own house, minding his own business, ordered from DoorDash, and Olivia Henderson, being the DoorDash delivery person, opens the guy's door and tries to claim sexual harassment because the guy was like sitting on his own couch with no underwear on or anything like that, and he had requested that the food be dropped off at the door. So she had no business knocking, ringing, or anything like that, just dropping off the food and going. And she has now been arrested because she lost her job with DoorDash and is now arrested, rightfully so, for what she put this guy through.
Breaking and entering, false accusations.
Yep.
Maybe you just kill her.
So, and she was like, she's like, if you ever watch any of her TikToks, it appears that she might be mentally disturbed. I don't know for sure. Allegedly, she is, in my opinion. But
Wait, did you say she was liberal?
I did not, but that would be a fair guess.
This week's oh my god restaurant review, King Buffet. This one's located at 13680 Alameda in Aurora, Colorado. Oh my god, this is an interesting one. Do you want to shout out or you want me to pop off?
You can pop off.
All right, I'm gonna pop off. Woo-hoo. Got the ad in the mail. Seemed like this would be a good case for the running man to be running to the bathroom. I actually did not have to. I actually probably ran for the X-Lax instead because there's so much goddamn salt and MSG or something in this that it took it to the opposite level. So in here, you got this place. They've got American food. They've got a Mongolian table where they'll do some Mongolian barbecue. Well, is that considered barbecue? Steaming, hot plate? What do you want to call that?
I think they do call it Mongolian barbecue when they cook it on that round grill thing.
All right, so Mongolian barbecue, but you also got Chinese food, seafood, all sorts of fare. It's interesting. The ad really pointed out $21.99, all these different food options. So Noah and I are like, all right, let's try this. Probably give us the shits, but we'll go to the Running Man and the Running Man restaurant. We went there. Surprisingly, well, the exterior is atrocious at a 5, just because the traffic's terrible at a rush hour. Alameda, just a couple blocks west of 225 Nightmare at that time. Entering the building, the interior wasn't terrible. It just wasn't conducive for the business. Ultimately, I'm giving this Taco Bell-esque interior a 6. Now, this isn't all you can eat buffet, so that makes sense from a business model, just not sense from a visitor model. And then service. Ultimately, I'm giving the service a 6. Could have been higher. It just wasn't energized. They didn't do anything wrong. They did nothing right. Food. All right. This is very interesting also because there were some hits and some misses. Their tapioca pudding, for example, was a -2 out of shit-tastic 10. Their banana pudding, however, was an 8 out of 10. And their spring rolls, also an 8 out of 10. However, their shrimp along the same table, not deveined, not depeeled, no flavor. Again, at best a 2. Ultimately, their food got a 5 from me. I did add some salt and some soy sauce to my Mongolian barbecue, which made it inedible. I don't know if they'd already salted the foods or it was an oil that they had been adding. I had a bowl full of mushrooms and beef, and what came out was like this 1/8 of a cup of what seemed to be previously mushrooms and a little bit of beef. It wasn't bad. It was just super salty. Their French fries were divine. I already mentioned the spring rolls were great. They had some sesame chicken. I assume it was sesame chicken. No sesame seeds present, but it tasted everything else just like that. Was actually pretty good as well. Some of their sushi wasn't bad. Lots of choices. Will I go back? No. But it also didn't make me shit. So 5 exterior, 6 interior, 6 service, 5 food. Because of all those, 5 for value, 5.4 total. Meet a friend there? No. Meet take a date there? No. Destination? No.
Well, mine's not so dissimilar from yours. I gave the outside a lower number, though. That was probably
holy
the biggest.
Shit! I didn't think that was possible.
I gave it a 3. I thought it was a dark. I thought it was a dark parking lot. Is atrocious trying to get in or out of that parking lot.
Yeah, when we left, it was a death trap.
And also, like, even with like walking just to the restaurant from where we parked, it was a little bit of a, you're taking your life into your own hands with how some people were pulling out of their parking spots.
Yeah,
and
was
stuff.
that a cracker cookie or what was she doing?
I have no idea. So I gave the outside a 3. The inside, the interior. It was shiny and new and wide open, and the way they had designed their buffet area, I think they actually did a semi decent job. You can't expect a whole lot from a all you can eat buffet, but I gave it a 6. Food, it was a hit and miss for me. Their beef with broccoli was good. I think if you knew what, or I don't know. I think it kind of depends on what you did with the Mongolian beef. That could have been a win too, but like you, mine was overly salty. I'm not sure if that was from the soy sauce or from the Montreal steak seasoning I put on it.
I couldn't eat mine.
Well, I powered through my salty meat there, but it was definitely on the borderline of like I couldn't eat it because it was like way too salty. The shrimp was not all that great. Strawberries were decent, but they're kind of out of season, so they weren't as good as they probably could have been. Let's see. The sushi was okay. I guess it's about what you expect from like something you would get from even like a grocery store or something like that. It wasn't like if you sat down at a great like sushi place. I thought their overall like I even had like I think their orange chicken maybe or maybe it was a sesame chicken or something like that. But I thought the actual like table where they had their like Chinese dish with like the fried rice and all that. I think the items I had from that like section of the buffet, I think those were kind of like solid. They weren't like great, but they weren't terrible. So that's why my food got a 5. The service, could it have been better? Yes. Could it have been worse? Yes. For what we got in an all-you-can-eat type buffet, I thought it was decent, so I gave it a 6. The value, I gave it a 5. Like, I don't know how it went from $21 to $30.
Yeah.
It just didn't quite make sense to me.
I should have brought that up. Fuck. That's a 50% increase.
Yeah, so my total score was a 5. Right. Take a date there? No. Meet a friend there? Most likely not. Destination spot? Hell no. I'll be going back. I'll say 9 times out of 10 I will not ever be going there. Maybe 9.9 times out of 10 I will never be going there. There might be a weird reason why I would want to go there.
Zombie apocalypse, nothing else to eat.
Yeah, probably something like that. But here, the thing is, like, if I'm going to pay $30 for food, there's plenty of other places from where we live to where that place is located that I'd rather spend about $30.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell being probably one of them, but yeah, same with like JJ. I think it's JJ's right. The place.
JJ's place is fucking amazing.
Yeah, the hot dog place. There's like the pizza places we've been to. Yeah, there's so many other places that I'd rather spend my $30 at rather than all you could eat. Whatever that was.
Exactly. What the fuck was that? This week's Smarter Challenge! All right, the Running Man 2025. So the Running Man 2025, of course, this film, dystopian, but also an action thriller produced and directed by Edgar Wright. Now, Edgar Wright, interesting individual. Also written by Wright and Michael Macallan. So this is the second adaptation from the Stephen King book. The Stephen King book written in 1980. The first version of the film in 1987 with, oh my God, no one other than Arnold, the bomb-ass, badass Schwarzenegger. And now here we are 28 years later with this new adaptation. So the basic film synopsis, if you will, the United States, where this is ruled by a series of media networks. So authoritarian media network runs the country. Most viewers can barely afford to view, let alone eat or take care of themselves or anything else. They're all dying by disease. However, they do have and give a chance for runners and other contestants to win money to take care of their family. Well, Ben Richards, who's a blue-collar worker played by Glenn Powell, has a wife and a child which is sick and needs some real medicine. This is what gets him to go to the show. His wife does not love it. Who ultimately knows how that ends? Probably not well. Women usually do not fare well with boys that actually become men. However, he runs through it. The dystopian political stance is profound, and at the end, he survives. All right, first question. Man, there's some great actors and actresses in this movie. Do you have a favorite actor, whether or not that's the main character?
I guess if I have to go with my favorite actor, it definitely would be Glenn Powell. I think he did a great job in this movie. But then again, I've been becoming more and more of a fan of his, especially after seeing a couple of his things, like I think it's like the Hitman something on Netflix, and then he did like that the one that we did, the one that we reviewed last week, where he's the football player. And then this movie, I think he acted really great. I thought he played his part well. And I really enjoyed what he did. Now I have some couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah, dude, that's where I'm at. What are your honorable mentions?
Michael Cera.
Oh, hell yeah.
I thought he played a great, like,
Elton Parakis.
Yeah, his part that he played was like the prepper, wacko, crazy guy, which actually
So me.
Who wanted to seek revenge for his dad, and he got a little bit too crazy there, trying to bring the police in so that way he could kill them. I would have liked to have seen his character last a little bit longer in the whole revolution, the whole revolution that they're going after. But I found his character to be somewhat entertaining. The other person who I thought did a great job was Coleman Domingo. He did a great job in the Fear of the Walking Dead, and then how he did his role here as kind of like the Running Man host. He was just boisterous enough and annoying enough to remind me that, or to make me think I was watching some kind of like old 1980s equivalent to the 80s RoboCop, where it was just kind of like cheesy enough and like goofy enough and dystopian enough to where I enjoyed it a lot.
All right. Well, much like yourself, Glenn Powell was the powerhouse for me. But a very close second is Amelia Jones as Amelia Williams, a civilian taken hostage by Ben, who ultimately goes through one of the most quick growth spurts as far as character arc in a movie that I've seen in a long time. That was beautiful. But my other one, man, I got to give some kudos and credits to Josh Brolin as Dan Killian, the show's producer. He played his role flawlessly, I think, ever since he played Thanos. And even before he played Thanos, we're not going to go into all those characters. He just plays the guy who's like, yeah, you know what? I will mind fuck you. I will body fuck you. Like, if I want something, I can play the role where I am not going to resist that. And it's super interesting. Not meant to be all sexual, but he is the guy who will absolutely go to a battlefield and face his opponents. He can be 1 versus 100 of theirs and fucking fuck them all up and rule the world. I really enjoyed that. Any favorite scenes from the movie for you?
I think it has to be the scenes with Michael Cera in the house where where he's killing all the cops, and how he's shooting them with like the water gun and electrocuting them. They go up the stairs, and he goes like, Glenn Powell's like, his character's like, did you just bring me all the way upstairs so you could just go down a pole? He's like, no, I brought you upstairs so we could both go down this pole. And and like how like that whole scene, like how he had set up his whole house basically to be like a freaking death trap to kill police who were entering into his house. I thought that was like a really fun scene to watch.
Yeah. Mine is more along the road trip he takes, and that is Ben Richards with Amelia Williams, where she has to do her own growth and realize he's like, here's the gun. You're going to fucking die one way or another unless you listen to me. Here it is. And she has to start making her own real life choices. And I think that's just reality. It can be at work, it can be in a personal life, it can be anything else. And you want to make sure you're not listening to the wrong person. But when the right person speaks, it's also important to listen. Last thing, like if you had to say, should there be a Running Man 2 after this? What's your opinion there?
I think they left it open to be for there to be a Running Man 2. And I'm not really sure how you would go about that unless you really just want to talk about a revolution going on with like this network owned society. Because I don't think you really have an actual like network show being called the Running Man at this point. So I think it has a good ending where it's at. Could you do a sequel? I think you could, but I think it'd be a little bit of a stretch unless you call it like maybe like Running Man Revolution or something like that. But I'm not really sure how you would really play it off because I think at this point you're just looking at doing a revolution to take down the network.
I think the most important point here to me is you're talking about a film that's based on a book written by none other than the Stephen King all the way back in 1987. There shouldn't be a second chapter. There shouldn't be anything else, especially with as closely as they did and in fact follow it. All right, that's all I had. How about you? Anything you want to bring up?
No, that's it.
All right, next week's Smarter Challenge.
I think next week's Smarter Challenge, it's still in the theaters, so I think we should do a movie review of the movie Nuremberg. It's about the Nuremberg trials. It's about the psychiatrist who worked with Goring, and I thought I think it would be a good one for us to discuss.
All right.
All right. I guess that's it. So if you made this far, thank you very much for hanging in there with us tonight, enjoying this new Scotch, as well as listening or partaking, hopefully, with your comments with our topic. We'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you to all the viewers on YouTube and Rumble, as well as all the many different listeners on the different podcast platforms. We greatly appreciate all of you. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave some comments down below. And with that, Jesse's going to tell us what we need to know again.
Remember, life is great. That does not mean it's going to be easy. In fact, those more difficult times make the better times that much better. Really, as I continue through life, all I can share with you is my father and my son. Not that my mother and others don't, but my father and son really make me appreciate what I have in life and want me to ensure I continue to expand that, not shrink that. So life is great. Remember, the difficult times will make the great times that much better. Do not drink and drive. Please drink responsibly. Next week, we're going to be visiting the trials there at Nuremberg. And until next week, Scotchman!
Cheers. We hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Scotch Hour. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you have not done so already, please become a patron member, with memberships starting as low as $1 a month. Thank you, and hopefully you have a wonderful evening.